Orlando Magic HQ was popping. Magic fans, it feels so great to finally say these words. Orlando Magic basketball is back, baby. No, it's not the regular season. Hell, it's not even the preseason. But nonetheless, we have Orlando Magic Summer League basketball. That means that we get to watch our lottery picks in Anthony Black and both in Jett Howard go out there and produce, and we get to see the kind of talent that the Magic had drafted in the first round. Also, we get to see some of the undrafted guys out there. We even get to see some guys last season that were on the roster, obviously with guys like Kevon Harris, Caleb Houston. The list goes on. Nonetheless, Orlando Magic basketball is back. It's great to see these guys out there and competing, and it's just kind of good that we get to finally see some basketball in this action with a lot of these lottery picks and a lot of the great young talent in the game of basketball today. But Magic fans, I really just want to kind of give my analysis and recap of yesterday's game, even though it came in a losing effort to the Detroit Pistons as they won 89-78. Nonetheless, like I said, it was great to have some basketball out there, and I really want to just kind of give my analysis with the game. But before I really dive into the Orlando Magic aspect of all of this, I really want to give a lot of praise and a lot of love to the Detroit Pistons fan base and that organization, because as Magic fans, that's someone that I feel like we can relate to, right? Historically speaking, especially back in the 90s and the early 2000s, right? The Detroit Pistons were obviously a very good team. They've had their finals runs with some great historic teams, just like our Orlando Magic. But really in the last 10 to 15 years, the Detroit Pistons and both the Orlando Magic have constantly found themselves with a lot of losing seasons, constantly missing out on the postseason. But the Detroit Pistons finally have a real head coach now with Monty Williams, who obviously took the Phoenix Suns back in 2021 to the NBA championship, and they have a solid young nucleus and a great core to really build around, just like the Orlando Magic do right now. When you look at guys like Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, James Wiseman, obviously you got Jaden Ivey, another promising young guard, even though he really struggled last night, and they got Asar Thompson in the draft. I think that the Detroit Pistons are really heading in the right direction, especially since they're going to be in the Eastern Conference. They're going to be a young and up-and-coming team alongside our Orlando Magic, and I think it's going to be a great thing to watch. Just all the great young cores in the game of basketball today. I just wanted to take a moment to give them love, give them praise, and say that I think that they're doing a great job over there, and I'm excited to see how they continue to grow. Now, when we really get into the actual game aspect of how yesterday's game went, I think to start off the game, it kind of was a little bit timid. Obviously, you could tell that a lot of these guys had some butterflies out there, especially guys like Anthony Black, Jett Howard, and a lot of the young guys, because this is their first taste of any kind of NBA action. You heard Jeff Weltman allude to it when he was on the broadcast as well too. But overall, these guys settled in pretty nicely, and I think that the Magic did a good job. After the game was tied at halftime, the Magic got off to an extremely sluggish start to start off the third quarter, as they only scored 13 points. They did rally back in the fourth quarter. Obviously, it came in a losing effort, but nonetheless, it was still great to go out there and see the guys competing extremely hard. And let's actually go over a little bit of the box score. So the Magic did get out rebounded 47-29, which was a minus 18. The Magic also shot 11 of 32 from three-point range, which is just about 34%, basically on par last season with where they were in the regular season. And then the Magic also had 17 assists on 29 made field goals. That's a stat right there that I really liked. Just from watching the game, obviously yesterday, I thought there was a lot of great hustle and intensity out there from a lot of these guys. I think defensively, they did a really good job locking in, obviously only limiting the Detroit Pistons to 89 points. So holding a team under 90 points, even in just 10-minute quarters, was very impressive. I like the intensity and the hustle, and really just the awareness that a lot of these guys had out there. Even when a lot of these guys have not been playing with each other for an extremely long time, it looked like there was some good chemistry out there, especially when these guys were running the floor. But let's actually go on an individual basis, really breaking down what a lot of these players did yesterday. And I want to start off with the number 11 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, our lottery pick from the Chicago Bulls, Jett Howard, and what he did yesterday. Howard finished the game 8-4-3. He chipped in 3 steals, and he did struggle to shoot from the field, 3 of 13 from the field and 2 of 7 from behind the arc. But I still like Jett Howard a lot, and I think that this guy's going to be a very good player, 3-and-D guy, and a guy who's going to be able to consistently create jumpers off the dribble for this Magic team. Shout out to Caleb Houston, man, the Michigan man from last season, our former second-round pick. He finished the game yesterday 12-2-2. He shot 4 of 12 from the field and 4 of 10 from three-point range. Caleb Houston, to me, is still a guy who I think is going to make this roster. I think he's still going to have a big contribution off the bench with this team, especially with his three-point prowess. Next up, I want to give a a big shout out to Kevon Harris yesterday, man. 21, 6 and 1. He shot 8 of 13 from the field. He had 2 steals. And just overall, not just yesterday, we know the type of player that Kevon Harris is. The guy's just an absolute dog out there. And he's just a guy that you want on any NBA team. He's just a guy who's a great hustle guy, a guy who's probably a good guy in the locker room. And he goes out there and he plays his role with the best effort night in and night out. He's clearly a dog, always giving 110%. Want to give a big shout out to Kevon Harris as well too for what he's done, not just yesterday, but really with his time in Orlando. And then the last huge shout out I have to give is with the number 6 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, Anthony Black from Arkansas. Anthony Black played a hell of a game yesterday for the Orlando Magic in his Magic debut. He finished the game 17, 5 and 5, chipped in 3 steals, shot 7 of 10 from the field. He did have 7 turnovers, and of course we're gonna have to cut back on that, but he was the only starter yesterday that finished with a positive in the plus-minus box, as he finished with a +4. Obviously, all eyes yesterday for Magic fans were on Anthony Black, and he delivered. The way he's poised, the way he's able to control himself, switch up the tempo, maneuver in the pick and roll game, and really get to the basket. He's obviously a very crafty finisher at that 6'7" frame. He does a great job running the break, seeing the floor. Obviously, he had a couple of steals yesterday, and he just does a great job controlling the tempo of the offense. He reminds me a lot yesterday when I was watching him of a Sean Livingston prototype, even a Tyrese Halliburton, the way that these guys maneuver in the half-court offense. He doesn't need to be a guy that's going to sit there and jack up a bunch of threes. I think we've got other players on the roster that are going to be capable of doing that. But if Anthony Black continues to develop on his offensive arsenal, continues to develop that shot, and he's able to still get to the rim with the kind of efficiency and with his size, the way he's able to finish at the rim, Anthony Black's going to be a really good player. I'm going to take yesterday with a grain of salt, but it was very promising to see what he did yesterday, even in a Summer League performance. All eyes were on Anthony Black yesterday, and he did deliver. Magic fans, overall, like I said, it was just a great time to watch some Magic basketball again yesterday, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to those guys. The last thing I want to say before I really end this video is with the Orlando Magic getting out-rebounded by -18, 47-29 on the glass. I think a guy like Kai Sotto is a guy that a lot of us Magic fans and a lot of people internationally speaking are very intrigued about. A guy who's 7'2", a guy who can run the floor, and he's just a very athletic big man. I would have liked to see Kai Sotto go out there and get some minutes yesterday, especially now that the Magic kind of have a vacancy with that backup big man at the 5 position, because we did retain Mo Wagner, but Bol Bol is no longer with this squad. So I would have liked to see Kai Sotto go out there, get some minutes yesterday, and I do think that he will get his opportunity at some point in the Summer League. But overall, I'm just going to go with whatever the coaching staff best believes is right for the team and right for the Summer League. But nonetheless, I think a lot of us want to go out there and see what Kai Sotto can go out there and produce. But Magic fans, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below about your analysis and your thoughts about yesterday's performance. What stood out to you, and was there anything specific about a player that really intrigued you? Like I said, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Magic fans, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me and the channel out tremendously. Make sure you guys also go ahead and hit that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Orlando Magic content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure you also go ahead and follow me and Orlando Magic HQ on all of our socials. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Magic fans, thanks again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Go Magic, baby. Peace.